Hey Rock on Beer viewers, welcome to another Homebrew Wednesday. This is technically take 2 for this Homebrew Wednesday. Tried to record this last week, and by record this I mean I thought I had recorded it, and then when I went to edit it and upload it, the camera had recorded nothing. So I had I had an audio file but no video, and tasting podcasts just didn't seem like anyone would want to listen to that. So yeah, this is going to be another homebrew tasting, and it's been requested by one person that I know of, but I hope there's other people who've been looking forward to this one. It is a tasting of my IPA brewed with Danish experimental yeast called Vandregær. And there's a video about that there will be a link here or down in the description, or both. Oh, probably both. Yeah, so this is the special Danish yeast that was isolated from apples, and it was... gotta let the cat in, hang on. All right. Now I got my my co-host in here. So yeah, so it was isolated from apples on an island here in Denmark. It's been used to make some wines, but this is a blend of 3 different yeasts that they White Labs Copenhagen blended together, and then they let professional brewers and home brewers use it for some experiments, and yeah, you can watch the other video. But so this, I'm going to give it a taste test. And I call it the Nordic American Fusion Farmhouse IPA. And you can see I put an awesome American cap on it because it's a patriotic beer. So this is all American hopped beer, but with the Danish Vandregær yeast. And basically, this yeast it acted a lot like a saison yeast or a farmhouse yeast. I made the beer. It actually had to go. It went through a really long secondary because it just came out with crazy amounts of clove in the nose, and I didn't like the smell of it, so it got like super extended secondary, and then once those kind of like really clovey phenols died down a little bit, then I dry hopped it with Citra. You can find the whole recipe for this. I'll link it down below on my website. I gave the recipe for this beer, but. So it's basically it's a farmhouse IPA dry hopped with Citra, and then yeah, using Vandregær, and you can see that it's got a nice. This is my like house IPA recipe that I used as the base. It has a nice light orange color. Really nice head retention on this beer. I'm pretty stoked about that. So now I get into the smell. Early on, like, once the beer was done carbing in the bottles, that Citra really came through, and it gave it this really cool, juicy, like, melony type. Yeah, it was like citrus, but more melon with some spice to it from the yeast. It was just a really cool smell. That faded really quickly. This is an aggressive yeast when it comes to, throwing off esters and phenols and smells. And now I definitely get a lot more black pepper and clove coming through. There's still a little bit of the Citra hops underneath this nice kind of zesty citrus type smell. It's not nearly as juicy as it used to be. Now it definitely smells more like a saison or something like that. Still smells nice, not as great as it used to, but it's a nice smell. the taste, when it was super fresh, even when it was super fresh, the hops didn't come through much in the taste. This is definitely a yeast forward beer. No matter how much I blasted it with hops, you still get that character of the Vandregær yeast, which is it's very, very saison like. It's got some clove, it's got some spicy peppery notes, and then this particular one, it's actually got a little bit of cideriness. Early on, it tasted like some kind of spiced cider. The gravity got really low. It's 1.008, I think, is what it finished on. Not as crazy low as some saisons, but it's pretty dry. And here's the cat. Well, I told you. Now my co-host. Now everything is fine. She doesn't get to drink the beer. She just gets to judge me from behind the camera. So it's got a lot of saison character, but it's also got some kind of cidery notes because the yeast is kind of a wine and cider yeast anyway. This is the first time it's been used for beer, so it definitely has kind of those Venus type notes. And that's really the only, I can't really tell if some of it might come from the hops, but I have a feeling that most of this character comes from the yeast. What I do get from the hops is a nice balancing bitterness. It doesn't have a crazy amount of IBUs, right around 50-ish, but it's got a nice little backbite to it of bitterness, and I actually really like that because I think that the yeast would be really kind of cloying if it wasn't for that bitterness that kind of drags it back down. As I said, it's a pretty aggressive yeast flavor-wise. Yeah, now I get a little bit more like kind of fruitiness to it. It's a really unique flavor. It's like I said, it's super dry and kind of saison-like, but it does have a lot of IPA qualities to it, like the bitterness and for me, the drinkability, because I'm not the biggest saison person. I don't particularly find them like quaffable, I guess is the word I've heard used. This, on the other hand, I mean, it drinks really, really nicely. Doesn't have that ultra dryness. It's dry, but it's not bone dry like a normal saison. And because of the extended secondary, it did a lot of those really aggressive yeast flavors kind of died down a little bit, and then with a good dry hopping, it gave it a good kind of nice bit of citrus on the smell, so it's not all yeast, and then the flavor is balanced with the bitterness. I really like it. I think it came out really cool. I know that I got more than a few weird comments of people asking why I would use an experimental yeast that's supposed to be all about what does it do to these beers. So, a lot of the breweries were making like table beers, and one made a Kolsch and, stuff like that that's kind of yeast forward. Why would I put a bunch of hops in it? Well, my thought is that, first of all, why not? And second of all, I think it added a lot to this beer. I've tried some of the commercial ones. I think that the yeast flavor is either overpowering or a little bit boring for some of them. But this one, I actually think it brings a lot of complexity to the beer, and the hops add to the complexity of the yeast because it's not just a crazy clove bomb You can actually taste, you know, the hops kind of amplify that fruity cider type quality. I was also worried, you might have seen in an earlier post or something, this beer actually grew a pellicle on top. So I thought that that yeast might have some kind of Brett or something in it, but definitely not. I don't taste any kind of infections or Brett. The bottles, this bottle is well over a month old in the bottle. No carbonation issues at all, and the gravity has stayed. Stable. Anyway, yeah, so that's my review, my rambling review of my Vandregær IPA, my Nordic American Farmhouse IPA. I think it came out really cool. I would definitely rebrew it with some changes. I actually would like to introduce some Brett to this beer and see if that can really amplify those fruit tones and bring something even more complex to this this yeast. But yeah, about the only thing I would change is I would maybe go with some maybe danker hops, something a little funkier to go along with the saison type flavor. But I think it's really nice. I guess I guess that's my review of it. Anyway, check out the video of me brewing this. I talk a little bit more about the yeast. Check out my website for the recipe if you want. Remember to thumb this up and subscribe and all that stuff. I really appreciate you watching. I know that my subscriber count is growing, and to any of you new people out there, please check out some of the older videos, and you know, thanks for subscribing. And well, I'm just gonna say cheers. Experimental yeast. I think it really came out great. Anyway, see you next time, guys. Cheers.